Decided to log in a little earlier. 58, 59. Wait for some heads to roll in. I appreciate everybody that's here, smashing that like button already. That's what I like to see, baby. It's that Friday night hustle hangout. How's everyone doing tonight? This time I'm actually sitting close to the phone so I can see the chat a little bit better. Logan, how you doing? Logan crushing the comments and the like button. RG Slot wins, always in the building. How you doing? Always smashing that like button. And happy Friday the 13th. That's right. Hey, how you doing, Richard? Richie. Happy Friday the 13th. I got this Dragon Ball Z hat on, trying to floss it, but the brim is like, it's cheap as hell. Like, it doesn't bend the way I want it to bend. You know what I mean? Hold on, I gotta fix this lighting real quick. Hold on 1 second. Let me see. All right, that's a little bit better. I didn't bring out my my Elgato light because I figured I'm in my kitchen. So picked up COD Cold War today, but that won't stop me from missing Hustle Hangout. Oh man, the PS5. I got it and I forgot to pre-order the friggin' games, and then I went to the store and like the stores were actually sold out of the games. I mean, I only went to 2 stores, but everybody piling in. Let's see, it's 6:01. So, what's up, everybody? I'm trying to do this every Friday night. I get a lot of questions on my IG. Let me fix this down a little bit. I get a lot of questions on my IG. Oh, before I start, dude, can we talk about this? Can we talk about this hoodie? Not influenced. Love it. I try to answer your questions about either running an Amazon business, hustling, doing a hustle. If you have any questions about a hustle, this time I brought a water, so I won't have to leave my live to get a water. I had a beer, but whatever. So basically I do these every Friday. We're going to do them every Friday at 6 o'clock. And this is where I'm going to answer your questions. In the Instagram is where I get most of my questions. And a lot of it is surrounding invoices and Q4 and what I'm doing to sell certain brands or certain items. So, I hope to answer some of the questions that are here. Drop your questions in the chat and I can start answering them. Or if you want, we could talk about any type of hustle. So one of the hustles, what I wanted to ask the community was this. You guys know I'm a big collector, right? It's like part of the hustle. And a lot of the stores I go to, most of the time I'm either in Walmart or I'm in Target. And what I notice is I get a ton. I have like 400 Funko Pops. And I'm thinking about like selling almost all of them because I've really been getting into the trading card scene again. So the rare Pokemon cards and all that other good stuff. It's just another hustle, seeing what I can pull out, send to graded, sell it on Macari, or sell them on Marketplace, whatever. It's just another hustle, And then Sunday we're going to go out. Live sourcing trip is going to be, I'm going to try to do that every Sunday. That seems to be the best day for everybody. I've been asking a couple people. Some people have been telling me Sunday works great just because people aren't working. People are home relaxing. It's after dinner time or kind of after dinner time when I do it at around 6 o'clock. So that's been working out really great. But Friday nights is the Friday night hustle hangout where I'm going to be answering all of your questions and let's just chat, hang out. You know what I mean? That's how we're doing it. I do want to ask, though, with the trading card game scene so hot right now, there are a lot of YouTubers that I've been following, and what they do is they're opening up packs of these Pokemon cards online, and they're pulling out these like mega blockbuster cards that are worth thousands of dollars. I thought about doing a video like that, but I'm not quite sure. To take place of the Funko, because I got a couple more Funko videos, but let's see. Let's see what these questions are. Who's up in here? Happy Friday that picked up COD. Yep. That sentence made is that pumped to be here. Hey Logan, man, I appreciate you being here. Let's see. Logan asks, and please, if you have any questions, drop it in the chat. Let me know what the deal is. Logan asks, does Refunds Manager do anything for customer returns? FBA. So, as far as I know, no. Refunds Manager, as far as I know, handles the damaged items or lost items that might happen at a Amazon warehouse, things that have been lost in transit, not sellable, that type of thing. Because usually when I get the refunds back, I get them at my house. They're not at an Amazon warehouse. So usually if a refund comes back to my house and it's damaged, I'll have to put it in the case myself or call Amazon. But honestly, I only do that if it's really worth it. You know what I mean? If it's really damaged, then you know what I mean? I just toss it. Timothy May says, what's up, Richie Hustles? What's good, Tim? Brittany Alexis in the building. Finally not missing one of these. What's up, Brittany? How you doing? Guys, if you're not following Brittany's her content, I love her content. Brittany Alexis, go follow her. Today, again, is a Q&A session. Sunday night, we go out. We do a live sourcing hustle. Let's see. William Moore says, Pokemon is so hot right now. I know, it's crazy. It's crazy. You know what's even crazier? Is that I found over 250 base set holos, and almost 80 of them were first editions. Crazy. I've got boxes over here waiting to send in. I'm actually going to be grading my Pokemon cards through CGC. I like their grading quality. I get a lot of my comics graded, and I know trading cards is new to CGC as far as grading goes, but I'm doing all my Pokemon cards through CGC, and as I go through my sporting cards, I'm actually going to send my sporting cards to PSA. You know, everybody has their preference, but yeah, Pokemon cards are hot right now, man. Box breaks would be fun with sports cards. Yeah, if you could find sports cards, that's the thing. I can't. Every time I walk in these places, I cannot find sports cards. You know what's crazy though? You know what I just thought of? One of my lifelong dreams, or one of my passions, is to actually set up a collectible store, comic book store. You know what I mean? Brick and mortar store with a killer website to do a ton of online orders from the because you got to have online presence. You know what I mean? You can't just have brick and mortar, right? But I still believe people want a place to go as far as collectibles go. It's fun to order things online if you can get it, but there's nothing beats walking into the store and looking at all the things. And honestly, when you walk into a store, you buy things sometimes that you wouldn't think you would buy, you know. But I want to start up I do want to start a comic book, so that's one of my lifelong passions that I want to do. But the reason why I was saying that was because I actually have an account. So these comic book stores go through Diamond Distributors, and I have an account with them. I've just never placed my first order, and you can buy Pokemon booster boxes at like wholesale prices. So I'm gonna look into that because that's crazy, especially because they're so hot right now. You know what I found? I was in Target today. I found these 3 Pokemon sets. They were $44.99 a box. They were the big box sets. Comes with like 10 booster packs. Selling for $95. I grabbed all 3 of them. So I kept one for myself. I paid $147 for all 3. And I literally did merchant fulfilled. And somebody bought 2 boxes at the same time. So one customer, 2 boxes, spent almost $200 for these. I basically got my box for free, and I made a $25 profit. So that was crazy. And that just happened within like an hour. Let's see. Stu Manchu, how you doing? I'm leaning towards Seller Locker instead of Refunds Manager. Have you used Seller Locker before? No, I've actually never heard of Seller Locker. I was referred to Refunds Manager. They've worked with me. They've treated me great. I've been with them for a while now, and we've negotiated on pricing because they can be a little bit high, but they're kind of not high. I'll tell you why. I looked at other websites that would take 18%. So Refunds Manager takes 25%. Flat rate, 25%. But they do everything. You understand what I'm saying? I looked at a couple of sites that charge, and make sure you read the fine print, okay? Because some of these sites will charge you lower, but they will only do the templates for you. And then you still have to submit the case. See, with Refunds Manager, they do everything. I don't have to think about it. I don't do anything. Like Diddy said in that skit, I don't want to do nothing. I don't want to do shit. You know what I mean? So that's the difference. Make sure that there's not a lot of refund companies out there that will do absolutely everything for lower than 20%. And I've actually negotiated great pricing with Refunds Manager. So they've been loyal to me. You know, I stay loyal to them. They treat me well, and they've done a great job for me. All right, guys, if you're just entering in, please smash that like button. We're doing a Friday night hangout from 6 to 7. This is where I'm going to answer all of your questions. If you guys are selling on Amazon, if you have any questions about hustling, if you have any questions about collecting comic books, Funko, money making, anything, this is the place to do it. I get a lot of questions in my IG and stuff. I appreciate everyone being here, spending their Friday evening, at least an hour of it with me. I appreciate that. So smash that like button. Let's get into some questions. Let's look at the chat here. So Anthony Vera says, hey, Richie, I noticed that every time Amazon ships my items, they take $1 to $3 from my available balance. Do you know what that fee is for? Anthony, what type of account do you have? Do you have the free Amazon account where you sell up to 40 items a month? Or do you have the professional account where you pay $40 and you sell unlimited? Drop it in the chat. And let me know what you got, because that'll help me better answer the question. I have the professional account. Okay, so when every time Amazon ships my items, they take $1 to $3 from my available balance. Do you know what that fee is for? So it could be a couple of things. I don't exactly know, but I will tell you from my experience when I've had little pieces like that, it's because I didn't prep the item to Amazon's specifications. So for instance, if I was to send in a liquid and I didn't polybag it, and I left it as merchant, and Amazon has to polybag it, but I didn't set it for Amazon to polybag it. Amazon will polybag it, but they're going to charge me a fee. So that fee is 50 cents. Now, I don't know now if that item also needed stickering as well, labeling. That's another 30 cents. So that's 80 cents on each item that I wasn't expecting. That's the only thing I could really think of. Besides like the normal pick and pack fees and stuff like that, I'm not sure what the 1 to 3 would be. I would assume it has to do with the preparation. What type of item did you get that on? Let's see. John asks, regarding BrickSeek, which one do you use? Just premium, or is Extreme Deal Hunter worth the money? The hype they say on their site. So I do the Extreme Deal Hunter, and that's because I'm in a ton of Walmarts and Targets almost every day. So for me, it's worth it. You know, if you're going to less than 5 stores a day, maybe do the premium. But if you're in a bunch of Targets every day consistently, definitely get the Extreme. The Extreme pays for itself. It really does. Eventually, it will pay for itself. You know, you got to think of this. You know, there's 30 days in a month, generally. Sometimes 31 days, right? We'll just call it 30 days to make it even. You have 30 days to make back that $30 or $35, whatever it is they charge you for that. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, if you're going into 10 stores every day for 30 days, you know, you have a 300 chance, that's 300 stores, you should be making your money back, even if you went into 5 to 10 a day. If you went to 150 to 300 stores a month, you should be making your money back just using BrickSeek alone. But just using BrickSeek alone is not going to help you scale. That's a great tool for items. Like for instance, like I use BrickSeek a lot of times when I'm in stores looking for something else, or if I go into BrickSeek looking for specific BrickSeek items. I make sure I let you know that like in a video, or if I'm in a store where I'm not recording a video, I use BrickSeek, but a lot of times BrickSeek really is like an accessory to my hustle. You know what I mean? But totally worth it. Totally worth it. Oh man. What else we got? Sarah says, hell yeah. Hell yeah. I have the professional account. Yep. Let me see. Sarah says, Walmart told me they are having early Black Friday sale tomorrow. What products I should go for, you think? So, honestly, I hate the way they're doing their... I hate the way Walmart's doing their Black Friday. I was in my local Walmart today, and they were putting out all the Black Friday deals, and they had them in the aisles, and they had the saran wrap, and they said, like, not available until... for sale until tomorrow, right? Because they're opening up 5 a.m. tomorrow. Will I be at a Walmart? Yep. Will I be there at 5 a.m.? Nope. I'll probably be there between 6 and 7. I'm just, these are like teaser deals, and honestly, they had like, listen to this, okay? Black Friday deals on Hyper Tough, which is the Walmart brand, Hyper Tough garage hanging fluorescent lights. What do they call it? Better mainstays, all Walmart brand skata. My wife would say in Greek. I'm Italian, my wife's Greek, but we say skata a lot, which means hot caca. So it's really just a bunch of crap. They had some Keurigs in there for $48. Okay, great for the consumer, but for the reseller, I think they're gonna have. I think they're still gonna have Black Friday, but I think it's going to be. Let me just buzz this down a little bit. I think it's gonna be Black Friday deals, but they're just gonna do it as normal. They're not gonna open up at 1 a.m. and all this other stuff, and most of it's gonna be online. I think what they're doing is the reason why they're teasing all these deals is because they want people to come in, get these deals, so everybody doesn't show up on this one day because of the Rona and blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? But the deals, man, I'm not a fan. I'm just not a fan. Let's see, back to Anthony. He said he does all the prepping. I was wondering if it was a tax fee. It's mostly toys. So Amazon does collect tax on your item. So the way you can do that is definitely pull your reports, and it should have a breakdown of all those expenses. I forget what the report's called. It's under reports, business reports. Oh my God. If you want DM me, I can tell you the name of the report. Someone told me list anything you are gated for in eBay. What is your idea about that? So I don't sell on eBay. I sell a little bit on Mercari, and I focus strictly on Amazon. If I can't sell something on Amazon, I don't bother, unless it's a real banger. I don't mess with eBay. It allows me to scale. I love Amazon. I love scaling my business. It's a lot easier to scale the business where I'm focusing on one thing. That's not to say eBay isn't a great platform. eBay is a great platform. You know what I mean? It's just not for me. I don't like it. I just don't like it. I've been burned by customers. I don't like eBay's customer service. I don't like the way they handle business. And quite frankly, I'm going to make a video about Mercari because I'm a little upset with them for the crap that they pulled, that a customer pulled. I think I got scammed out of 3 Funko Pops. And I think they did like a switch, and they returned damaged Pops, and they kept the good Pops. I just don't like those kind of platforms. You know what I mean? There's too much dishonesty. And, a lot of times those companies will just simply side with the consumer. And I get it. You want to provide great customer service, but Man, I'm totally just focused on my Amazon business. Let's see. Rich says I just scored a Hoover 1 power floor for $15. That's awesome. Retails for $2.98 thanks to Brickseek. Yeah, man. Listen, that's one of the things that I cannot find. I cannot find vacuums. I never find them for the Brickseek price ever. I never find vacuums. I don't do good with vacuums. Let's see. Logan says, do I need to do anything for sales tax on Amazon? It's really a question for an accountant. It's not a question for me. It's not something I can answer because everybody's tax bracket's going to be different. It really depends on how much you're selling. Generally, Amazon collects sales tax for most of the states. Most of the states. So generally, you really don't have to worry about that aspect. There are some states that Amazon doesn't collect yet. I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure which ones, but they don't collect for some of the states. But definitely check with an accountant because there's so many different things. Do you have a sole prop? Do you have an LLC? Do you have an LLC S corp, C corp? There's a lot of different variables, and tax can really get finicky. You know what I mean? Let's see. I'll try and pull it up. Yeah, man. Definitely. So what's up, everybody? If you're new to the live right now, we've been in about 20 minutes. We're doing a Friday night Hustleholic Hangout where I'm trying to answer any of your questions that you might have about either selling on Amazon, hustling in general, any questions at all. If you want to ask me where I got my hoodie, whatever it is, we're hanging out, we're chilling till about 7 o'clock. And I wanted to talk about a topic. Oops. While we talk about questions and stuff, I did want to mention you. Like, I put up a couple of posts on my Instagram. Follow me at Richie Hustles about some trading cards that I recently found in my basement. My old sports cards, baseball, basketball, football, hockey. And I got to go through them all. Oh man, I need a coffee. I feel like I always need something when I do a friggin' live. But I'm getting the bug. You know what I mean? I'm getting like the itch, like that. Oh, I want to get back at the trading cards so bad. It's so addicting though. I literally picked up today some Pokemon decks. I picked up 2 Trainer Elite boxes. I picked up a one of those tag team Pokemon boxes I was telling you about earlier, where I pushed 2 of them for like $95 a piece on Amazon. They sold within an hour. Crazy. And I picked up a Blastoise GX box set. So I'm not sure if I'm going to do a video on it. I kind of wanted to do a video on it because I really believe that like there's so much going on that you can hustle to make money. But like flipping trading cards, that's risky, right? Because you can spend $40 and you can end up with 0. You know what I mean? What's up, everybody that just joined? If you just joined, smash that like button. If you're a hustleaholic, if you're out there hustling, making it happen, it's Friday night. The mood is right, and we're chilling. See, Logan says, I'm switching to an LLC soon, currently just selling as myself. Do you know how that process will work on Amazon? I mean, switching to an LLC is pretty easy. It's not a difficult thing. Once you do that, once you form an LLC, what you can do is you can go into your account, just update your tax status. It's going to ask you different questions, and you can actually put you can change your business name. You probably have to upload some documents. They might ask for your formation. Where your company was formed. I formed out of Delaware, and they'll probably ask you for your EIN and all that stuff. You just upload it, and they'll upload your account. It's pretty easy. Would you suggest doing an LLC or just jump straight to an S corp? I mean, that really depends. There's different. And thanks to Colby for asking that question. but there's just different implications, different tax implications. You know what I mean? S corp has different tax protections and than an LLC. It just depends on your numbers, and like there's so much that goes into it. And quite frankly, I don't know about all that tax information. You know what I mean? Um, Next year, when I file for taxes, it's probably gonna be the first time I'm gonna hire a CPA to do it. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna ask about the S corp thing, because if it makes more sense next year to do an S corp because of taxes, then we might just go that way. But I heard there are some tax advantages with an S corp, but I'm not sure what like I don't know how much you have to sell, how much profit you have to bring in, or what that entails. I don't have that answer. I wish I did. Let's see. Sarah asks, other than Walmart, what stores do you recommend to go? I just started and I have listed 24 items, which I source all from Walmart, and they are selling good. Great question, Sarah. So if you're looking to venture out and source other stores, honestly, nothing's off limits. Some of the top stores that I go to include Walmart, Target, sometimes Dollar Tree. Haven't been to Dollar Tree in a while. I heard that Ocean State Job Lot is actually pretty good to source at. Pretty much just anywhere. You know what I mean? Anywhere that TJ Maxx, Home Goods, Marshalls, all great stores to source from. You can also do online arbitrage, right? A lot of times Best Buy clearance online is great. I've ordered a ton of stuff from them before. It just depends, all these different stores. Right now I love going into Marshalls and TJ Maxx right now because they have a lot of men's clothing on clearance. I love racking up that like Under Armour and stuff like that. Sells really, really well. Especially right now, they have a lot of hoodies and long sleeves, and it's getting colder, so they sell like this, and they sell at a premium because they are pricey. Under Armour is an expensive brand, but those are the stores I would recommend. You know what I'm saying? What other questions we got? Let's see. Sorry, guys, I have like allergies. Sarah asks, do you also do private label? I do not do private label. I've thought about getting into private label. Private label takes a lot of work, and it takes a lot more capital than starting up an RA or even wholesale, in my opinion. I've researched what it takes to start up in wholesale, and while some wholesale distributors will allow you to place $1,000 to $2,000 orders, some wholesale distributors will need you to place $2,000 to $3,000 and sometimes even $5,000 orders. Private label, you might be able to buy things for pennies on the dollar, or a couple bucks sourcing from China, and you put your brand on it. But when you start up a Shopify store and you try to go in private label, right? Or even if you wanted to list it on Amazon, you know what I mean? Say you don't even do Shopify. You have to pay to advertise that listing. You have to pay for the customization. Shipping from China is extremely expensive. Sometimes I've ordered products from China, and the shipping actually costs more than the actual product. Like, I wouldn't recommend private label unless you had $5,000 to $10,000 that you're willing to lose. Not willing to lose, but like if you lost it, like as an investment, you wouldn't go hungry. You'd still be able to do food shopping, pay the bills, keep the lights on, that type of stuff. Again, this is just from my own research. I don't know these as factual statements. I've heard from other bigger, big-time YouTubers and resellers that have actually done private label, and the amount of money that you need to put into advertising, because nobody knows you. Like say you start, I want to sell just a water, right? Voss has a name. You know the Voss. You know that brand. If I wanted to take this bottle with no label and I wanted to put Hustle Juice on here, nobody knows who the hell Hustle Juice is. They're gonna be like, what the hell is this? I don't know what that. I never heard of it before, right? But if you advertise it and you show people with buff bodies and pretty girls drinking Hustle Juice, and you blast it all over Instagram with links going to the site, eventually you'll get some clicks. But nobody knows Hustle Juice. Nobody knows that. You know what I mean? So it just takes a lot of capital to make it happen. You could do it, but I personally wouldn't do it unless I had $10K on the side and willing to that if that 10K disappeared, then I wouldn't be able to cry about it. You know what I mean? I don't think anybody wants to lose 10K, but I mean, you need a lot of money to really juice that advertising. Olma Obed Garcia Gutu, hello from Mexico. What's going on, Omar? Welcome to the Hustleholics Friday night hustle hangout. Appreciate you being here. If you have a question on reselling or a question about anything, let me know in the chat. How much of your business RA versus wholesale? Great question. Not one I get often, but I do get it. And right now in Q4, I'm about 60 to 70% wholesale and 30 to 40% RA, only because it's Q4 and there's a ton of deals that are just cranking right now between Target and it's the best is yet to come. We're only on what's today's date? November 12th, 13th. I don't know. It's Friday the 13th. So today's the 13th. The best deals are yet to come. So pretty soon we're going to be doing more RA, spending more on RA than on wholesale. But I keep my wholesale steady and consistent. I can tell you this. The month of January will be the last month RA will have such a big chunk. Okay. Once February comes, we're going to cut back on RA and focus a lot more. We're going to get real heavy. We're going to get 80% wholesale, 20% RA. And then when March comes, we're going to get 90% wholesale, 10% RA for the rest of the year till September comes again. And that's just because my end game, I love doing RA. I love doing retail arbitrage. It's literally the funnest and can sometimes be more profitable per item if you find the right items. Like wholesale is great because, and then I like wholesale because wholesale is replenishable items, items that make you a profit that you continually order over and over and over again. I love this business model. Quite frankly, I think wholesale is one of the best business models to have for e-commerce. So my goal is to go towards more wholesale, but right now we're a little RA heavy because it's Q4. You know what I'm saying? It's just going to get heavier. December we're going to be really heavy. It might even be, or actually, no, I lied. The 2 weeks after Black Friday are going to be real heavy RA, and then we're going to lighten up because we're only going to be able to do either merchant fulfilled because it's getting closer to Christmas, or we're not going to worry about FBA for Christmas. We're going to wait for that after Christmas rush when everybody gets paid, they get their cards, and they have money to spend. January can be a good month too. January can go either way. January can either be really good or it can it can be down. It depends, but everybody's getting paid after Christmas, so hopefully. Let's see. Tips for finding replenishables or maybe wholesale items that are consistent and can cover my monthly overhead. Man. So what you want to do is if you want to find replenishables, I'll tell you this right now. Over this COVID, and I don't even want to say it because sometimes they demonetize you. So we'll call it Rona. They might even block the video because I just said that. Imagine that. There was this one item I was selling in household, okay? And this one item I was buying full price, not from a distributor, not from a wholesale order. This was an item being purchased in multiple Targets. One item, full price, household. And I remember going in, grabbing all of these items. And what I can tell you, a tip on finding distributors, you gotta Google is your best friend. But it's not always about finding distributors unless you're gonna go in and spend a few hours searching for breaking it down. If you want to sell toys, then you want to toy wholesale distributors in maybe do a city that's close to you. And then maybe it'll pick up, if you don't find anything there, click the state you're in. Toys wholesale distributors, Massachusetts. If not there, then toy wholesale distributors, New England. Toys wholesale distributors, Northeast. And then maybe branch out a little more if you're not having success. New York. For me, because I'm in Massachusetts. New York, North Carolina, Kentucky, anywhere. And then honestly, I would even do it out in California. Like, I feel like 60 to 70% of the toy makers are out in California in the factories. You know what I mean? But you got to do those Google searches. You got to put the time in, and you'll find results. And then when you do find those wholesale distributors, you want to send out emails. But here's a little trick. I said this in my last live, and I think I said it on my Instagram live. I think sometimes when we look for wholesale distributors, we think way too hard. We think about it way too hard. Where do I look? Who should I trust? What should I do, right? It's not that hard. Let me tell you why. I wanted to sell a product. I emailed Johnson & Johnson, okay? And I said, hey, I'm interested in selling wholesale products. Can you please lead me in the... Like, I went to their website. I went to SC Johnson, and I went to contact us, and I pulled up their email that you have to fill in yourself, name, email address, what's your message, right? It just goes to a generic person. But I just said, hey, I'm interested in selling this product. I'm looking to be a wholesale partner, and obviously this is not verbatim, but basically saying I wanted to be a wholesale partner, and if they could steer me in the right direction on being able to purchase wholesale from them. And you know what they did? They emailed me a list of 5 wholesale distributors that they recommend going through, and 2 of them I work with today. To this day, I work with 2 of those distributors just from emailing the company of the product that I wanted to sell. You have to do this with every product, cleaning product, toy product, and you want to sell Mattel wholesale? Email Mattel, email Hasbro, email Lego, email DC, Marvel, Barbie, all Ryan's Toys, whatever it is, whoever they go through. Email that company. Let them know you're interested in selling wholesale, and maybe they might reply and not give you a wholesale distribution list. Maybe they will. And what really did it take you? 30 seconds to send the friggin' email? Send the email. That's just a little tip. Send it. I mean, listen, if you send 50 to 100 emails a day to different companies, different brands, and different stores and whatnot, if you send that, put in that work, I'm telling you right now, you're going to get somewhere. You know what I mean? Take action. That's just, that's not for you to take action. The question I was answering, I just got into my whole spiel about throwing a tip for, let's see. That was for Logan. Big Lots good for discontinued products to sell on Amazon. I've never actually sold, resold from Big Lots. I never went there. I should do a video. Let's see. I checked Richie and it shows that some stuff are available in the Walmart near me, but when I go there, I don't find anything. Yeah. So, again, hold 1 second. I gotta open this door. I'm really stuffy. Oh, man. When the wintertime comes and the heat's on, my allergies, like I get stuffy and it gets really blocked up. So basically a question says, you see some of these items that are on BrickSeek, but when you go to places like Walmart and stuff, you don't end up finding them. And that's normal. That's normal because what you're doing is you're trusting BrickSeek as a third-party inventory checker. So basically BrickSeek is tapping into Target, Lowe's, Walmart, all this stuff, trying to track their inventory, okay? And a lot of times they're wrong. They're wrong. If you check out my earlier videos, I have such frustration with BrickSeek that I almost like had to edit some stuff out, just because of my frustration with BrickSeek. You know what I mean? But if you're only going to 2-3 stores a day, you're not really utilizing the power. You know what I mean? When you're looking for the product and you have that product on BrickSeek, scroll down and it has the list of the closest Walmarts closest to you. Okay, you want to make sure you're going to at least, and obviously in stock, right? A lot of times I don't go out of my way for limited stock because chances are it's probably not there or it's damaged and it's somewhere. It's just counted as an inventory. But you got to go to like 5, 6, 10 stores a day to really get the value out of BrickSeek. As long as this item's available in the Walmarts there. Let's see. Let's see. Pull up the barcode BrickSeek provides. Yep. Have Walmart employee find it. That's right. Yep. So if I misunderstood your question, that's exactly right. If you're going there, and you want to double check, you pull up the barcode. It says show barcode. Click show barcode. A barcode is going to come up, make it a little bit bigger. And Walmart, their systems can actually scan that barcode to see if they have it. Now, there's a lot of times where they'll scan the barcode and it will literally say 0 in stock. Like I'll look at their PDA like, and it says 0, but BrickSeek says they have 6 plus. I don't know where the disconnect is, but it happens. BrickSeek is just straight up wrong. Yeah, and I kind of wonder, like, is it BrickSeek that's wrong or is it Walmart that's wrong? I don't know. What's a typical email say to a distributor when you are trying to open an account? I prefer to email the brands, and when they send me the list of distributors, basically what I'll do is I'll go to those distributor websites and I will, if it's available online, I will open up an account online, or if I have to send an email stating I'm interested, it's just a basic hi. I introduce myself. I give them the name of my company, let them know I'm interested in purchasing certain products they offer for wholesale and whatnot. There's no perfect template. You just kind of want to introduce yourself, let them know your purpose, get to the point, and make sure you want to provide value. You know what I mean? Provide value to the distributor at some point in the email, whether it's saying, hey, I can provide value by taking this product that you're selling and really buying, taking 3 pallets, a week or a month, or just kind of like you want to add some kind of value to the email instead of just asking for an account. It's not often you have to interact like that just to open an account, because generally these websites have accounts you can just fill in, open up an account, submit your paperwork. The only time I had to get on the phone with somebody was when I opened an account with EE Distribution. I had to get on the phone and do like a phone interview. And shout out to Brittany Alexis. She helped me out to give me a heads up on what to do. So Brittany, if you're still watching, big shout out to you. Let's see. Hustle Monkey in the building. Hey Richie, I sell on eBay, but I'm looking to sell on Amazon. Does it get expensive shipping stuff to Amazon? I don't know how that works yet. So it only gets expensive shipping to Amazon because you're shipping so much, but the shipping cost is dead cheap. We're talking cents on the dollar. We're talking, anywhere from 25 to 75 cents per pound to ship to Amazon. Obviously, it depends on where you're shipping to. It might be upwards of $1 a pound if you're shipping to California from Massachusetts, like me. And sometimes it's not worth it, and you have to know your business, and you have to know your shipping numbers. But I shipped a 45-pound box to, I think it was Florida or North Carolina. I forget where it was. It wasn't too far from me. It was like a 45-pound box, 22 by 18 by 18, stacked to the brim, and it cost me $8. If I was to ship that box, if I brought that box to the UPS store and said, hey, I want to mail this, I think it will cost me like $100 to ship that. So you get extreme subsidized shipping. The only time you're going to think it's going to be costing you a lot of shipping is when you're shipping a lot of boxes. But you have to understand, if you're shipping, you have to figure out your cost per item, per weight. Make sure you wait until you have a good shipment too. A lot of people will just send out like 2 or 3 items. You gotta wait till you have a good amount. because the more your boxes weigh, the better you're able to utilize the to be cost effective to send into to Amazon. Let's see. Elkin Garcia says, "What's up, bro? Thanks for always documenting your processes. They are super informative. I appreciate that. Thank you. Wanting to get approved as a seller by Amazon, then it's lit. Absolutely, man. Get involved in e-commerce. It is definitely the way of the future." Let's see. Absolute Edits 27. Hey, Richie. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? You know, I got to do it every time. You know what I mean? How you doing? Do you use Alibaba or Jungle Scout? I don't use any. I did use Alibaba to purchase some. I just lied to your face. I'm sorry, Jamie. I didn't mean to lie to your face. I don't use Jungle Scout. I use Alibaba only to order one product from China that I still get in. I have a good relationship with this distributor now. They're great. You don't find that often on Alibaba. I promise you that. But besides the Amazon seller app, I do use Scoutify 2, which comes with a paid subscription to Inventory Lab, which I don't really use. Watch, everybody's going to flood. Why? Why don't you use Inventory Lab? Asit. Hello, Richie. Hello, Asit. Anthony Vieira, after Q4, do you still sell toys or do you shift to something else? Do sales slow down on toys after Q4? Kind of answered that already. So like after Q4, I do still sell toys. I love selling toys and collectibles. It's my favorite. But shifting to wholesale, it's mostly like household, beauty, necessities, stuff like that. I don't really mess with grocery, but I can't talk. I was able to set up 2 additional toy distribution accounts, which I'm not utilizing yet, but I'm gonna crank that out in January. I'm just waiting for an approval on something. You ever do inventory removal once you see hundreds of people jump on a listing, like nationwide Walmart clearance, for example? So this is what I do. What I do is if Walmart has nationwide clearance, right? I'm gonna give you an example. Those breast pumps we bought for $45. At the time, we could have sold them for $250, right? Or two something. Everybody hopped on this listing. Everybody, okay? Tanked the price down to like $100 at one point. I think it was like 108, something like that, right? What I did was I'm holding on to my price. Let all the $100, let them all sell out. I don't care. Let them sell out, because when the price comes back, and it will, it's a breast pump. Mothers all across the country use breast pumps by the hundreds of thousands probably, okay? And maybe even more. I don't know. You know, that's the thing to do. Natural breastfeeding is the thing to do. And this is a motorized dual pump. This is a very good pump. You know, when my kid was born, my wife wanted to try it, and we bought a dual pump. Now, it didn't end up working out. She ended up switching the formula. But, you know, women want to try natural things. Anyways, the whole point of me telling you this is that everybody is selling out. Let them sell out. I'll wait for my price. That's it. Let's see. When I sent my product, Amazon asked me to post in the 3 different warehouses. Yeah. Sometimes it's called split shipments. Sometimes you can't send it all to one warehouse. That's why I say wait till you have, you know, at least minimum 50 products to send. Because if you're only sending 10, 20, if it splits it up, sometimes the shipping gets expensive because you're not utilizing the weight, the cost of the weight to send it. You know, you really want to wait at least 50 items. I recommend 100 items. You know, if you do an RA trip on Monday and you bring back 20 items, go Tuesday, you bring back another 25 items, and you go Wednesday, you bring back like, you know, another 35 items. Okay, now you can start putting your order together. Eventually, you're going to get to the point where you're doing, you know, 100 items a day, you know, but definitely don't get burned on that, on the shipping. When you fulfill by Amazon, do you drop it off at Amazon warehouse or UPS FedEx. Yeah, so when I do Fulfilled by Amazon and I do FBA, I take all my boxes to the UPS store. Um, Generally use UPS. The only time I use the USPS or the post office is when I do merchant fulfilled. But FBA, I take all my boxes to the UPS store. That is the easiest for me. It's even easier than scheduling a pickup because sometimes, every time, for some reason, every time I schedule a pickup, it ends up coming at like 6 at night or late at night, and I get ants in my pants. I want to get these out. I know there's 2 trucks that go to the UPS store during the day, so I try to get there in the morning so it could get out as soon as possible. Sooner it gets out, the sooner it's going to get checked in. You know what I mean? See, my very first item I sent the first time, it was a plush, just 4 of them, just to learn how it works, and did not. So I was like, now they're sitting there. What do you recommend to do? Right. So, I mean, you sent in 4 items. Works, and I did not do any sales rank research on it. That could be the reason. Look at the pricing on it. Is your price competitive with other prices? Maybe think about adjusting your price, or if you're gonna do it, honestly, why don't you try this? Why don't you try going to like Dollar Tree? Try to say if you could source some items from Dollar Tree, okay? And that way, if you can buy 50 to 100 items, at least you're buying a huge amount of items to send in. I mean, if you're sending 4 in, the shipping cost alone is gonna crush you. You know what I mean? That it's really gonna crush you. And then if you're paying Amazon to prep it for you, you gotta send in more. And it's okay if you only had 4 items. That's fine. If you take the 4 and put it aside maybe, and then your next trip maybe you get 5 more, put it aside, wait till you have a good amount of product to send in, and make sure you're using keepa.com. There is a free website called Helium 10. I haven't really messed with it. Keepa.com. One second. Now it's getting a little too cold in here. Keepa is you need, if you're going to get serious about reselling, you absolutely need Keepa. It's like 17 pounds a month, which I think equates to like $20 a month or $21 a month or something like that in US dollars, because it's either in pounds or euros or I forget. It's not in US dollars, but you need something like Keepa.com, so that way when you're researching product, you can take the ASIN or the UPC and you can put it in Keepa, and you can analyze the sales charts of those products. If you're just buying blind, you're walking a thin line. You know what I mean? Don't buy blind unless you're sourcing books. Because I buy books blind. I never check books with Keepa, like, ever, because you get them so cheap at the bag sales. But you need Keepa. You need Keepa. Let's see. Hustle Monkey, thanks you, the man. I appreciate that, Hustle Monkey. Thank you, Logan. Yeah, Keepa is a must. Absolutely, Keepa is a must. It definitely is a must. Oh man, Friday night, huh? Friday the 13th. It's crazy, man. The world is changing so much, and it could get so stressful for some people. And it's really up to us to stay mentally present. You know what I mean? Mentally here. You know what I mean? It's very easy to just lose control and not be present because of everything that's going on. Maybe you used to going to Halloween parties and all this stuff, and you couldn't go to the club or the lounge and usually go out. Deals are still there. It's just different. You know what I mean? It's a different feel. Let's see. Inventory placement service. It's a setting that will get you eligible inventory sent to the same warehouse. It only does take a per item fee, so it could end up costing. Yeah. So honestly, even with the inventory placement, they do charge you. And honestly, if you're sending like 5 items at a time, it's not even worth it, because your prepping fee, your shipping fee, your placement fee, everything's going to eat up your profit unless you're buying something for $5 and you're selling it for like $100. Maybe that's a little exaggerated, but selling it for $5 buying it for $5 and then selling it for like $50 at least, you're gonna have all your profit with eaten up, just trying to get it there. So I would just work on getting that inventory into Amazon. I will share this though. I've tried placement service before, and it still split my shipments like into 3 shipments, and I was like, why the hell is it doing that? Same warehouse, which pisses me off even more because it was asking me to send everything to New Jersey in 3 different shipments instead of just 1 shipment. I wanted to get I wanted to utilize the best cost effectiveness of the shipping weight. You know what I mean? But yeah, Logan, good point though. But Sarah, you got to work on getting more items. You know what I mean? Let's see. Donna Ketchum says, you are my favorite to watch. Thank you, Donna. I appreciate it. Thanks for being here. Gives me inspiration that Amazon will work. It will. If you work hard, Amazon is a numbers game. It is a volume game. Keep at it. I can't, listen, without getting too personal, I can't tell you how many times listen, when you see my videos and you see me here, you see like what I want. Like when people do videos, they show you what they want to show you, right? But there's been so many times, especially in my first year, I thought about quitting. I thought about giving up. I really did. Is this going to work? Why is it? I was having wild swings. Why do I have no sales today? How come I was doing, my first year, when you're hitting 500 a day, you're like, oh my God, this is great. And that happens 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days in a row. And then you have, $10 sales day. And then you have $100 sales day. Then you have no sales. Then you have 2, and you're like, what the heck happened? You start, and I've been vocal about this on IG, on certain lives. And, sometimes you fall into this like funk. And you just, you have to be a strong person to run this type of business, to get it to a magnitude, to be, these videos are great and I appreciate everybody watching it, but you have to understand, there's a lot of toughness that goes into these videos. I keep it 100% real. I keep it transparent. I'm not afraid to talk about the good, the bad, the ugly, but, now things have gotten a lot better going on year 3, but that first year, oh my God, I really wanted to give up. I am so glad knowing myself that I did not give up. I pushed through, persevered, picked myself up, changed my strategy, right? Because when things aren't working, you have to change. You can't keep doing the same thing if it's not working. So, that's just what it is. You know what I mean? Logan with the $2 super chat. Thanks for keeping it real. Much appreciated, Logan. Thank you so much for being here. All my lives and all my chats, you're one of the few that always shows up. I really appreciate it. Thanks for being here. And thanks for the super chat. Let's see. I almost said something else. Tactical Z says, hello from Maryland. Love your YouTube channel. Thank you, Tactical Z. I appreciate you being here on this Friday night Hustleholic Hangout. You're also my favorite, Logan. You're also my favorite to watch. I appreciate that, Logan. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, guys, if anybody else is new, listen, what I'd love for you guys to do is if you're watching this and you're not subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. You can subscribe to it now. You can subscribe to it after, whatever it is. But that will really keep you in tune, and make sure you hit that bell so that way you get notifications when I upload new videos, all that good stuff. Let's see, John says, for past couple days, Walmart app will only give online price when scanning, not in-store pricing. So don't know if any hidden clearance, any other experiences. I have not experienced that, John. I have not. I don't know how to respond to that. I have not had that issue. Maybe the certain store that you're shopping in, maybe they're having a system issue, but it's been working okay for me. Sarah says, I love your videos because you are not trying to sell anything. You are just sharing your valuable experience and moments with us. Thank you for that. Hey, Sarah, no problem. You know, I'm very vocal about, a lot of people ask me if I'm ever going to do a course or do I offer a course and stuff like that. And honestly, the answer right now is no. I'm just documenting my journey. I'm here. I like to hustle. I love the business. I love doing my business. And if I can help people out with what I know, so be it. You know, I appreciate that. Thank you for that. Let's see. Maria Leal says, thanks for sharing your journey. Do you use Inventory Lab for your shipments or Seller Central? Great question, Maria. I use Seller Central. I do not. I have Inventory Lab. I don't use it. I don't utilize it like that. I used to use Inventory Lab for scanning books in because I was buying. I think I was taking home like 400 to 600 every weekend. So to sit there and scan it with the phone and put them in like that was a pain in the butt. So I had a scanner that I would just be like bloop, bloop, bloop. It was much easier. But now with all the libraries being closed and they're slowly opening up now, so I'm able to do some book hauls, but even some of the library sales are being canceled. I don't use it for my products. I just find it easier that when I'm sourcing in these stores, as I'm scanning in Seller Central, I list it right then and there. Bam, it's listed. That way, when I come home, all I have to do is pull the product, send it. That's it. I don't have to worry about why would you know what I mean? A lot of people ask me, well, why don't you use inventory? I'm like, well, why do you double scan it? You know what I mean? You scan it with the app, it pulls all the information up right there, and then it's like you X out of it and move on to the next product. And then when you get home, you got to rescan that same item. I just don't see the point. The only time I would use Inventory Lab, they have a fantastic mobile app called Scoutify 2. If they could somehow link Scoutify 2 to list it in Inventory Lab using Scoutify 2 and totally bypass Seller Central, I would absolutely list with Inventory Lab. But until then, I'm Team Seller Central. Hashtag keep it OG. I have the same problem as John has. I asked them, and they said it can be due to updating the system for Black Friday sales. Yeah, that could be it too. A lot of things like that. Yeah, that makes total sense. But I haven't ran into that issue yet. Some Bluetooth headphones I want to put on Amazon. When I go to list them, it asks for detailed battery info, like the battery, weights, amps, etc. How do I find this info? So are you talking about when you try to when you go to hold on, let me just read the question again. So the Bluetooth headphones, and they want to know what kind of battery is in it, but you don't know what kind of batteries because you can't open up the Bluetooth headphones and check, right? Battery weights. I mean, I would just honestly just bypass it. Amps, etc. I mean, just tell them it's probably a lithium battery, or if you find it on the box, the battery info will just be on the box. Generally, rechargeable batteries tend to be lithium, I think. So that's a good question. If I came up with that, if they asked me that, I mean, there's been times where I kind of bypass it, but you know, I'm not saying to do that, but weights, amps, it should all be on the box. You know, that information should be on the box. What is the best handheld scanner? Do you use one or just your phone? Yeah, Donna. So I'm OG. I'm OG. So I'm recording on my Samsung phone, right? But this is the phone I use right here. I use my iPhone to scan books, and I hate this damn phone. I really do because it has the worst reception. iPhone in general, I'm not a fan. Hashtag Team Samsung all day. But this is smaller. My Note is a pain in the butt to scan books, and I like to scan fast. So I use this to scan my books. But other than that, with everything else, I don't use a scanner for regular products. I just if books was my main business, I'd invest in a scanner, like a finger scanner or a scanner like Richie Resells did. Before he got the finger scanner, he was having a scanner that he put with, I believe it was Velcro, and he put it there so that way he was going like this and he was scanning it, looking on his phone, scanning it, and it's not a bad idea to have something like that. It's just not something that I use. I'm Seller Central. I'm OG. I'm Seller Central and old school with the phones. But the best handheld scanner, what I could recommend is the what is it called? That scanner. Hold on, let me see. It's called oh, it's not in my head now because I can't think of it because I don't look for it. You know what I mean? It's not on the top of my head. Where the heck is it? It's called I can't think right now. DM me on Instagram. I'll send you a couple of links to some good scanners that I heard are pretty good. Let's see. What are your thoughts about Amazon advertising? I definitely like Amazon advertising. I definitely recommend it if you're selling a ton of a certain product. You know, if you're sending in, I like for instance, I sent in 800 of one ASIN. This is before the restrictions happened, and I definitely advertised that, and I blew out of that 800. I blew out of it in like less than a week. Logan's heading out. Everyone smash the like button. Yeah, appreciate you for being here, Logan. Thank you. Catch you on the next live Sunday night. We're going live sourcing. The KDC are good cheap scanners. Yeah, KDC is good. And then the other one, I can't remember the other one. It was like called something 2006, and they had a 2002 version. I can't think of the name. I can't think of the friggin' name. Oh well. Guys, we're just past 7 o'clock. And if anybody has any more questions, ask them now because I am going to be ending this live soon. Yeah, the eYoYo has a great inexpensive scanner too. That's not the one I was thinking of though. I can't remember the name of it. Womp womp womp. I think I'm gonna head out. I'm a little hungry. Grab a snack, sit down and do some product research, some card research. Opticon, there it is. FL Larry or Florida Larry, if that's what the FL stands for. Opticon. That's what I was thinking of. Thank you. Yes, so the Opticon 2002, 2006 are great scanners, and those are pretty small enough. You can Velcro them or double-sided tape right to the back of your phone case, so that way you have your information here on the front of the phone, and then you have your finger and your boop, boop, boop. I learned that one from Richie Resells. He was doing that before he got a ring scanner, and that was a genius idea to put that Velcro on there. That was genius. That really helps a lot. So, yeah, Opticon, great scanner. But if you're looking for the inexpensive route, you can go with eYoYo. Try it out first. Opticon will run you, I think, a little over $100 for a brand new one. You're looking like $250 for brand new, but you can find the older versions for $150, and eYoYo you can find for $50-$60. Let's see. As new seller, should I check Seller Central to see if I can list before I buy? Thank you for your time. Oh yeah, absolutely. So you definitely want to check if you can list, because if you're restricted in a product, so there's two types, at least that I'm aware of, two types of restrictions. One type is the gray restricted, which you can apply to sell that product either via invoice or apply to be auto ungated, or the red restricted, which means you ain't selling this, at least in my experience. So when you get restricted, you want to make sure you focus on products. You want to apply to see if you can get ungated first and foremost. Every single restricted item you come across, you always want to apply to sell. You always want to, just to have that under your belt. Now I probably have hundreds of brands and categories. Even if I'm not going to sell it, I apply. I want to show Amazon, hey, look at all these companies and brands that I'm approved to sell in, and I feel like it increases your velocity. So, all right. But listen, as a new seller, do me one more favor. As a new seller, focus on what you can sell. When you scan with Seller Central, it'll tell you if you're restricted or not, and if you're restricted in a product, Don't worry about it. Move on. If you apply and you can't sell, move on to the next product. As a new seller, you're going to come across a lot of restricted items that you cannot sell. And this is going to weigh on you psychologically. And you're going to start thinking, I can't sell anything. I can't sell anything. This is crap. I can't find anything to sell. You can find things to sell. You just have to put in that damn work. You know what I mean? So as a new seller, make sure you put in that damn work and do not cry about it if you come across restricted items. Because we've all come across restricted items and we've all overcome it. How do you manage returns? I don't. Amazon takes care of it because I do everything pretty much FBA. You know what I mean? What am I going to do? I'm doing such volume now that I get a couple of returns a day. I mean, it doesn't even put me at like 0.02%. It doesn't even blip. You know what I mean? Because I'm doing such volume now. But try doing that on eBay and Mercari, man. It sucks to get returns on those platforms. It really does. A lot of times your product doesn't come back the way you sent it. But listen, guys, it's 7:10. I'm going to break out of here, make myself something to eat, hop in the shower, relax a little bit, go through some Pokemon trading cards, see if I pull out some dinners. And if check me out on Sunday. We're going to go sourcing Sunday night or Sunday evening, 6 o'clock. We're either going to head to a Walmart or a Target. I don't know yet. But we're going to do it live. Last time we had dinners. We picked up magic bullets for $15. We found all types of crazy stuff. Check out that last live if you didn't see it. It's the one where I'm kind of looking like, I'm like. Guys, I appreciate you all being here. Thanks for being here. Thanks for smashing that like button. Please subscribe to the channel. And I'll catch you guys on the next hustle. Peace.